The good news, Megyn, is this: you can optimize this within weeks of just changing diet, cutting out the ultra-processed food, minimizing the sugar and the starches from your diet, and basically reset. That's what we call a metabolic reset.
Listen to what he just said, because I still have heard from my cardiologist, stop eating so much red meat. Stop eating so much red meat. And you didn't even mention red meat. You're talking about ultra-processed foods, sugar, and starchy carbs.
Absolutely. There is no relationship with the consumption of red meat. The most extensive studies have been done, looked in their totality, red meat and heart disease. Red meat, I'm not saying it's protective, but it's a very nutritious food. I tell my cardiac patients, these are cardiac patients who have heart attacks. I tell them, listen, cut the ultra-processed foods, follow the best components of the Mediterranean diet, extra virgin olive oil, oily fish, whole fruit and vegetables, but I'm not worried about how many steaks you eat a week. I'll tell you something interesting. Only yesterday, I had a consultation with a patient. This is a great story, Megyn. I'm glad I'm going to share this with you for the first time. This is a guy that saw me almost 10 years ago. He comes for a follow-up. At the age of 62, he was diagnosed with severe blockages in all of his heart arteries. He was recommended to have a coronary artery bypass surgery. Okay. And essentially told that unless he had it, he's probably going to die within a very short space of time, within a few years. Now, he came to me and he said, listen, doctor, I don't want to go under the knife. I want to try alternatives. This is my personal preference. I really don't want to have surgery. Luckily, at that point, his symptoms were quite mild, but he had those blockages diagnosed. And he said, is there anything else I can do? I've read your work. Can I go on a diet plan? Can I do a lifestyle change? And I gave him that plan, exactly that. I told him, I went through his diet and he was a CEO of a company, if I remember correctly. He was spending 8 hours of the day in a car. He was sedentary. He was eating snack foods and sweets all the time. So there's lots of room for improvement. He completely changed his diet. I also found out he was very stressed. So, I advised him to do breath work, meditation. He also was, thinking about coming towards retirement early because of his, his heart issue. And he was, wealthy enough to be able to do that. So he contacts me. Only yesterday I had a consultation with him, and I presumed when he got back in touch with me that he'd done this for a while, but ultimately needed a bypass, and he was going to come to me and say, listen, I had the bypass, and I just want to check in with you and see how things are going, et cetera, and anything else I can do. Megyn, he didn't have the bypass. He now, grows his own vegetables. He cooks, completely transformed his life. He swims 3 times a week. He walks his dog 5 miles a day. He's got no symptoms. And this is 9 years after being told essentially he could probably die if he didn't have a bypass operation. That is the power of lifestyle change.